We're back! The rampage resumes. Sorry it's taken so damn long, lovelies. IRL's a son of a bitch when it wants to be, but here we are! Resident Evil, the fourth and final part of Jill Valentine's campaign. Now, before we begin, I robbed you blind on the last episode, pinned you up against the wall and thoroughly mugged you because I skipped past the cutscene of the courtyard fountain draining to reveal the Arclay Mansion's secret lab, so I come on bended knee with heart in hands to apologise for this terrible transgression with the full glory of the installation's unveiling. Here we go. Worth every second. Alright, here we go. Descending into the Arclay laboratory, the first of many mutant spawning science hellholes that will become a major staple in the franchise. The door to the heliport you see there is locked up tight for now. I'm not going to let you go anywhere without a nice extended tour of their undead zoo downstairs, so down the ladder we go to the prep room. We're just going to unload some shit before we go. You'll get no more trouble from the hunters down here, so the bazooka can go to sleep for a bit now, as well as the now entirely useless crank. The only items we're going to keep hold of for now are our 2 MO discs, as we'll be completing the trilogy in mere moments, and our pump shotty with more ammo than we'll ever need for it, for speedy zombie out of my way getting. My English, she's sick. Just so we understand each other, in this final part of Jill's campaign, we're going to be seeing all of the dramatic masterclasses this game gifts you as endings, and as a result, I'm going to be switching playthroughs fairly regularly here. It should be pretty obvious when and where I'm doing it. I've made it as painless as possible in editing, but I'm not going to point it out every single time, so if you're staring at the screen thinking to yourself, 56 shotgun shells, but mere moments ago he had but 41! Heresy! But you're not going mad, and I'm not cheating you. Descending now into the central cloister, we will find the first instance of the troubling naked zombies in the series. They're a little tougher than regular zombies, and we'll look at them a little better when I come back this way in a second, and really served as a prototype for what would eventually become the infamous Crimson Heads in the remake. Umbrella's trying to save money on the lights in here. Fuck 'em, eh? Fuck Umbrella! I'd plug something in and all if I could. June 8th, 1998. Dear Ada. Ada, by the time you read this, I'll be something different. Today's test turned out to be positive, just as I expected. I feel like going crazy when I think about becoming one of them. Ada, you're not infected, and I hope you never will be. In case you're the last one left, take the material in the visual data room and go to the power room to operate the triggering system before you escape. And make all this public through the media. If everything is in order, all the locks can be opened by the security system. You can access the system if you log in with my name from the terminal in the small lab and enter the password. The password is your name. To unlock the door at B2 where the visual data room is located, you'll need to access with our names first and then enter another password. I've written the code below, I'm sure you'll understand it easily. And this is my last hope. If you find me completely changed, please kill me yourself. Password. Yours, John. Now, it might appear as if the gibbering garbage John claims as the password is the effects of the T-virus shitting on his brain, but behold and wonder, lovelies. Here on this painting of Eve being an idiot, we have some very similar looking gibberish that will transform itself as if by magic the moment we hit the hidden second light switch languishing behind the bookcase here. There we go. Clues in the name of the room, really. Now it all makes sense, does not. Match the symbols in the letter up to the translation on the wall, and you wind up with the password mole, which is just a fucking terrible password for such a high security installation. Jesus Christ, even Yahoo Mail makes you pick one with 5 characters. Back in here with this utterly shameless bunch, we'll move straight up the corridor to the laboratory. Yeah, this is apparently the room that the entire place is named after. And it's tiny. I'm completely unimpressed. That's what you get for blowing all your money on a giant bastard mansion, 40-foot snakes, and revolving jewel-eyed tiger statues. Now heading on over to the computer in the corner here, we'll be able to put our new username and password to good use as we tangle with Umbrella's hilariously archaic operating system. They developed it themselves, look. It's all their own work. Couldn't afford windows by the time that spectacular false fountain entrance went in. Not a penny left. Accountants were already scratching at their coffin lids by that point. Login is John, password is Ada. And we know that shit already because we have an age-appropriate reading comprehension level. And Jill isn't typing whatsoever here, she's just idly slapping the keyboard. Starting with floor B2 here, you'll see that the way is shut, so here's where we're going to spring our super duper secret 4-character password that we collected from the X-ray room upon it. It's good, it's verified. There's a little celebratory finger pop from Jill. Pow! IR Hack Lord. Afterwards, don't forget to pop down to B3, our current floor, and unlock the door there as well, so that our next destinations, the researcher's private room and the image preparation room upstairs, are both ready to yield their dark and dirty secrets to us. Now, before you go, completely optional but containing a vital shred of plot for the more slow-witted among you, on the floor you can find the slides, which we'll be able to muse over on the second floor. Take them or don't, and you can see there my degree of giving a fuck about them varies by playthrough, and head back into naked zombie turf. Now, those goddamn naked zombies, let me slap some truth down for you here. Long-standing myth states that there is no real point in killing them because they'll just respawn infinitely in this corridor. Not so, lovelies, not so at all. They will actually respawn 4 times before disappearing for good. I guess the game just holds its hands up at that point and just chooses to thoroughly respect your homicidal nature, because half of that myth is correct. There really is no point in killing them whatsoever because the central cloister corridor loops around anyway, meaning that you can avoid them completely. You do need to relieve these fuckers of their heads if you want to get to the back of the room unscathed though. Here's the first place to use one of your MO discs, doesn't matter which, and you'll get yourself part 1 of a 3-part passcode that comes with a bonus bit of religious blabber to bolster your spirits for the trials ahead. I won't bore you with it. Imagine a standard part of the Bible where God isn't inherently pissed off with something, and you'll get the gist. Over on the wall before you leave, there is the astonishingly incriminating facts to tot your way through. To General Manager of Sanitation Division, from Special Committee on Disasters, Raccoon Special Research Department. This memorandum is strictly confidential and must be destroyed as soon as it is understood. Regarding the T-virus outbreak which occurred recently, this committee conducted a field survey. According to the survey results, estimates on the amount of damage caused by the accident are considerably greater than reported earlier. First, although it is very difficult to obtain accurate data in terms of actual numbers, it is thought that more than half of the researchers died after exposure to the T-virus. The body count will most likely increase since nearly all of the survivors show symptoms peculiar to the T-virus. Second, our security system is still in operation. However, our special security guard squad has been nearly destroyed. Because of that, research information considered by our company to be top secret has been made available to outsiders. Countermeasures should be taken as soon as possible. Finally, many of the subjects from the experiment have escaped and are out of control. We believe that some researchers were killed by these subjects and their bodies were mutilated. By curious coincidence, these events are proof of the success of our research. However, there is also a very high risk that the news may be leaked to the press if we don't act immediately. The condition is very serious. Our operation to cover up the situation is difficult to attain. However, we hope the problem will be solved quickly. We are especially concerned that the state police and STARS are intervening too quickly. We need to act on this situation as well. Good God! You did this shit on purpose! Well, some of it. The dogs escaped by themselves. But fuck me, Umbrella! Surely you'll be shut down and indicted immediately, and your legacy will not continue for like 24 more games. And counting. Surely! The answer will appall you, folks. Back up on the second floor, head straight across the stairs to reach the image preparation room, where a tricksy vent on the far side wall hides a button to move what looked like a fairly important part of the architecture, but no, you are wrong again. Umbrella cares not for sound structural practices. That will grant you the lab key, which is a bit misleading because it doesn't unlock any labs at all. It unlocks a corridor back in the central cloister, but before we go and do that, let's check the bookcase next to the door for a better explanation of what those mysterious MO discs really do. Basement level 1, helicopter port. Executives and government officials only on helicopter port. This restriction may not apply in case of an accident. Passage to the helicopter. No one is allowed to enter unless they are attended by a research consultant or security director. All others will be shot on sight. Elevator. The elevator stops during emergencies. Basement level 2, visual data room. Visual data room is within the control of Special Research Division Keith Arving. The room manager is designated to have jurisdiction over room usage. Basement level 3, prison. Sanitation Division controls the usage of the prison. Consultant researchers E. Smith, S. Ross, A. Wesker must be present if virus is used. Triple lock door. No one is allowed to enter unless he presents all passcode documents. Passcode documents must be created on the specialized output machine by the chief researcher of each block. Power room. Only headquarters supervisors may enter. This restriction may not apply if the consultant researcher has received special instructions. Passcode output machine. No one is allowed to use the passcode output machine but the chief researchers. Basement level 4. Top secret. Regarding the progress of Tyrant after the use of T-virus. Remaining document is unreadable. So, alright, that's less blatantly obvious than I remember it being, but the codes we're getting from these MO discs will shepherd us through the triple lock door mentioned there. Now let's take a look at these holiday snaps, shall we? Precious memories all. And for the most part, this just gives you the official names of all the bioengineered crotch grabs of Mother Earth that you've been splitting in half with gunfire. So here you see that what you know as a Rotwoofer is actually called Cerberus. Splishy Splashy Stab Stab Face is Neptune. Freddy Krueger Fuck You Frog is a Hunter. This dude you haven't had the pleasure of meeting yet, but now you won't have that hurdle to leap when you do. Here's a researcher about to be hit by a truck. Bioweapon Research Institute R&D staff. Wait a second. Who's that dipshit wearing sunglasses indoors on the end there? Don't we know someone like that? No. No! 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 Wesker's a dirty traitor. I mean, so's Barry, but obviously nobody's letting him anywhere near anything more complicated than a colouring book, so he's off making the coffee while this picture's being taken. And by making the coffee, I mean launching uppercuts at the washing machine that he's somehow trapped himself inside. Look out, Wesker! This coffee maker's insane! And once you've sufficiently recovered from reeling in shock that your captain is a double agent, yeah, I did a good hour or so to my playtime the first time around, such was the extent of my reeling. Make your way back to the central cloister to use your new lab key and enter the power room passage. There's one lone zombie contemplating his pitiful existence at the junction here, so relieve him of his musings whenever you feel like it, because you'll be in and out of here a fair bit and he'll only make a nuisance of himself. And then head to the operating room by the way in here. Now, you only actually have to do this part if you're still down with the MO disc side quest. It serves absolutely no other purpose at all. Your goal is to get yourself up to the vent on the left there, which will drop you through into the morgue where the passcode machine is, and to pull that off, you have to play home decorator with these inexplicably placed crates and steps here. Short of chairs in here maybe. And you see the button on the floor underneath the vent there. Don't step on that until you've covered the 2 floor gratings either side of it over, or you'll get yourself a lung's worth of poison, much like in the armor room back in the mansion. I think this is the quickest way to do it. It could be wrong, but then I am absolute balls at these kinds of spatial puzzles, and consider it a miracle whenever I solve one at all. But anyway, once you've blundered your way through it, and you clean out all the useful ammo, red herb by the door if you want it as well, you'll pass through the vent and drop down into the morgue. Now, I know you're eyeing those body bags with some mounting dread, but don't you worry, you can tell nothing's going to happen because they're pre-rendered scenery. Capcom wouldn't pull that shit on you until the sequel. Magnum rounds to grab there. Now, we've already got like 3 times as many of those as we'll need from this point on, but fuck it. It's a victimless crime now, isn't it? And down at the foot of the room here is the machine waiting to be fed your second MO disc for part 2 of your passcode. More wrathful ruminatings from Genesis there. In fact, no, not wrathful, just God amusing himself by ordering Abraham to murder his son and then going, "Lol, bants, infanticide banter. Got you good, Abraham. You old fuck." Once you're done with the morgue, you can unlock the main door and exit back into the central cloister, which removes the mystery of the last sealed door in the area. In your continued exploration of the power room passage, you'll come across another lurching, deady rot legs guarding the elevator at the back of the room here. Send him to his loved ones. Not literally, of course. We don't have time for all that. Although we got the crates to do it in the operating room. Just need some packing peanuts now. On a completely unrelated note, I was fired from a job at a funeral home once. No idea why. We're popping into the lounge now to have a final little rearrange of the inventory. I am literally just taking these first aid sprays for the sake of filling up space because we really have nothing of any real consequence left to grab now. There's some flame rounds for your bazooka up on the shelf if you want them, but all we really need now, all we've ever really needed in our lives ever, is the glorious Colt Python. It's time to put this meaty son of a bitch to work, and our first customers are right through here in the power room. In fact, besides the absolutely deafening fucking racket of the place, the first thing you're likely to notice in the power room are the chimeras, which, much like their hunter brethren, are part human, except fused in this instance with the DNA of a fly. Note if you can their withered, useless wings and the spread of maggots that drop from their corpses when they die. Now, their favourite thing to do is run along the ceiling and swipe at your face, but they're not above taking the fight to the ground and trying to rake your knees out your sockets either. And these are one of the very few enemies that the bazooka can be quite ineffective against, thanks to its habit of launching its projectiles in an arc. A lot of the time a bazooka round will either fall short of hitting them if they're clinging to the ceiling, or just loop over the top of them if they're down on the floor, thanks mainly to the speed they move at. You won't see a great deal of their extended behaviour here because, as I say, the Python turns them into absolute fucking milkshake, but they wouldn't actually show up again in the franchise until the remake, and then one last time in the Umbrella Chronicles, the Wii rail shooter that my dad likes to swear at. The Chimera were going to make an appearance in Resident Evil 2, one of the earliest enemies decided on in the design process actually, except they were going to be infused with spider DNA rather than a fly's, but somewhere between builds they were phased out, probably in favour of the Licker, who honestly is just a better Chimera. Here in the third section of the power room, really this here is the power room, the other two are called power room passages A and B, which is bullshit because there's already a passage to the power room to get into passage A. That might seem pedantic, but I often find that pedantry is just synonymous with getting fucking details in order. In the power room, you fire up the elevator, and if you're collecting MO codes, your final part of the trilogy is just here. Pop that sucker in, get yourself some more biblical babble, and then make your way back out. Well, you have yourself a choice to be made. For those MO codes, spring the triple lock on a door at the end of the first passageway we visited off the central cloister, and wouldn't it be a waste of all our hard work if we didn't take a peek at what was behind it? Entirely optional this, I want you to remember. Entirely optional. Turn the corner, find the door. Jesus Christ, wake up, Jill. And enjoy your reward.
Jill? Is that you, Jill?
Oh, Chris, you're alive!
Of course. Damn it, we're in quite a predicament, Jill.
I know, Chris. Anyway, I have to open this room. It doesn't work. Well, Chris, I'll be sure to come back and help you soon. Will you wait here?
Thanks. I'll be waiting here for you.
Will you wait here? Will you wait here? No, Jill. I'll wait back in the fucking dining room. Did nobody realize what they were recording here? Even as they were acting it out, did nobody hear the shit coming out of their own mouths? Alright, we're in heavy cutscene country now as we approach the finale. Here's the one you get if you waited for Barry to go grab your new rope back at the Yawn Showdown when he dropped the first one after becoming startled by his own beard.
Jill, you're here too.
Yes, you're here too?
Look, I lost my way.
Let's get going.
You've lost more than your way, you fart-huffing simpleton. Now, if you didn't wait for Barry to fetch the rope, and he hasn't gotten his stupid ass killed in the tunnels, you'll
Jill.
get this take of it instead.
I was looking for you.
Barry.
Jill, don't be angry. I wanted you to wait for me.
Barry, don't screw up again like you did when you dropped that rope.
God damn it, that's cold! Jill's a fucking saint, and even she, after an approximate total of 5 minutes in Barry's company, is sick of his incompetent shit. Look at him sulk. Of course, if you did let Barry die, you get a nice peaceful elevator ride by yourself, and you don't have to worry about him pressing all the buttons on the way up. Ho ho, Jill! I saw this in a movie once. It'll be hilarious. Hey, why are we stopping? Wesker! Okay, here's the big showdown with Wesker coming up. Another 3 variations on this scene, and to get this first one, you must have kept Barry with you in the tunnels at all times up until Enrico gets knocked off.
Wesker?
You did a fine job, Barry.
Just as I thought.
I think you should stay away from Barry, Jill. I hear that his wife and 2 daughters will be in danger if he doesn't do everything I tell him to.
You are so cruel.
Well, you don't have to worry about anything, because you'll be free from this world very soon, Jill.
Why do you have to destroy stars?
That's Umbrella's intention. This laboratory has been engaging in dangerous experiments, and recently an accident has occurred. Anyway, this disaster cannot be made public.
That's why having stars nosing about is so inconvenient. So you're a slave of Umbrella now, along with these virus monsters.
I think you misunderstand me, Jill. To me, the monsters you mention mean nothing. I'm going to burn all of them together with this entire laboratory. I must complete my mission as ordered by Umbrella. Barry, go up on the ground and wait there.
Barry!
Barry's such a fool. He'll be under the control of Umbrella forever.
How come both Umbrella and you can intimidate him by taking his family as hostages?
Umbrella? Well, I intimidated him, but it had nothing to do with Umbrella. I just used him for my personal purposes, though both you and Barry seem to think I was following orders from Umbrella.
So you're planning something else?
If you succeeded in developing the world's most powerful biological weapon, what would you do? What if you were in charge?
You must stop this now.
You're a brave girl. But if I were you, I wouldn't give up such a big discovery. You guys are idiots. No one understands its real value.
So you're going to steal all the research?
Better yet, I'm going to show you the Tyrant. Oh!
Barry!
Sorry, Jill.
How is your family?
I was listening to what you and Wesker were talking about. I wish I realized it earlier. I thought it must have something to do with Umbrella, you know. So it's all been masterminded by him.
But it's good that you know that now. Anyway, let's get out of this house first.
Jill!
Yes, what?
Do you have any idea what Wesker was going to show you at the back of this place?
Well, he was talking about the world's most powerful biological weapon, called Tyrant or something, I think.
Do you think we could see Tyrant now?
Barry, you're so optimistic.
It would look bad for stars if we let such a dangerous creature run loose.
Maybe you're right. Let's go then.
Well, that was just awful, wasn't it? Just painful to listen to. But just a moment! Would you take a look at this?
You're a brave girl.
Oh my god! It's what happens if you chide Barry on the way up here. Plays out exactly the same way, except for this little alternate snippet of dialogue.
So, you're going to steal all the research?
Better yet, I'm going to show you the Tyrant.
So there, Barry doesn't come back to help you, and you enter the Tyrant lab with Wesker instead of him. Last take, again, largely the same, but Barry has to have died already back in the
Wesker.
tunnels.
Barry is no longer useful.
Just as I thought. You are the man behind all of this. Why do you
Pretty
have
much
to
just a
destroy
straight-up
stars?
confession that Wesker
That's
killed Barry,
Umbrella's intention.
which he
This
neglected to
laboratory
tell
has
us in
been
his dying
engaging in
moments.
dangerous experiments
Thanks, shit
and
breath.
recently-
So in we go to the tank room. We're going to watch this scene play out with Wesker first. Again, Barry must be dead or mad at you.
Tyrant virus is a super virus, which creates a monster which is much stronger than human beings. Tyrant is the most powerful biological weapon in the world.
You don't mean you're experimenting on real people?
This is really beautiful. All this power will be mine.
For the sake of an awful creature?
Don't be upset. All weak people exist to be eaten.
What? Don't come this way! No!
It can't control what it does.
Oh, well, let's just take it to a fucking shelter then. Barry's turn now. You definitely bagged yourself either the best or good ending from this point on.
Can a creature like this really be the ultimate biological weapon?
Really? Wesker is a crazy man.
Tyrant is not completely developed.
But we can't let it live. That must be the computer for monitoring this creature. Damn you!
So here you see Barry manages to release the Tyrant, point his gun 5 feet away from it, and still the fucking thing doesn't die. There's nothing more you could have done, Barry, truly. This idiot eats 3 Magnum rounds and falls flat on its pasty face, no issues there, and I accidentally on purpose killed it on top of Barry's legs there because it's kindness for everybody if they both burn here, but Barry is of course too stupid to realise they're broken.
You're alive!
I'm really embarrassed. I was clumsy.
Let's get going.
No need to faff about here, you can run straight out the room, whereas if you put the Tyrant down after it tears Wesker some new breathing holes, you'll have to pick the lab key up from his body afterwards and use it on the computer behind you. Back with Barry, I know this is all over the damn place, but you're doing great and I'm proud of you. Wesker has recovered from Barry's puny blow, fled and activated the lab's self-destruct sequence.
What happened to Wesker?
The triggering system has now been activated. All researchers
Wesker must have set it off. There's not much time left for us.
You'd have to say, wouldn't you? That's probably the best scripted and acted cutscene in the entire game. You'd expect them both to react with their usual hysteria. Barry! The lab is exploding! Quick! Stay away from the lab, Jill! I'm gonna kick this lab down! But everybody involved kinda nailed it though. So once you come down back to the 3rd floor, Barry decides he's gonna find the King Werewolf and save Christmas, and Jill just kindly nods him on because that's really the closest he'll ever get to understanding what's happened here. And off he runs so that Capcom doesn't have to code a whole bunch of extra AI to deal with you both fighting the chimeras that now stalk the central cloister. I'm gonna pop back down to the detention cells to spring Chris now. In a surprisingly humanitarian move, it seems that the self-destruct sequence automatically pops the lock to the holding cell door so that any prisoners can spend their last 10 minutes on this earth stretching their legs or hammering and screaming at the bulkhead they need 3 MO discs to get past. In any case, you can now walk straight through the cell door and finally reunite with Chris, who, a true man of his word, has waited for you right here.
Oh, Jill!
Sorry for keeping you waiting.
So everything is done?
Well, almost, yes. Now let's go.
Yes, Chris, we did all the things. Glad to know you're up to speed with the plot, somehow. If you didn't visit Chris in his cell before the self-destruct sequence kicks in, you'll get an alternate take of this scene right here.
Oh, Jill!
Oh, Chris! So you're okay?
Yeah, you too! What happened to Wesker?
Let's talk about it later. Let's get out of here.
Oh, Chris! So you're okay? That sucks! I just came by here to loot your carcass. Yeah, you too. God, what I would have given for a campaign with Barry and Chris. What I would have given. The cutscenes we would have gotten out of that one. Damn you, limited technology of the era. Alright, so once you're out of the prison, Chris pulls a Barry and runs off. Doesn't even look at you, just sprints away from you as fast as his legs will fucking carry him.
Let's go!
He thought it was some kind of race there. Winner gets to take Barry's blood-soaked picture back to his family. Hey kids, your dad fucked everything up and then killed himself falling off a ladder. I hope for your sake that whatever was wrong with him isn't genetic. Bye. Only one way left to go now, and that's back to where you first came down the sweet magical fountain elevator. The passageway to the helipad is now wide open. The alarm has roused a few more of these dozy derricks from their business, so why not give them a glass of the good stuff to send them on their way? That's some premium grade shit I'm laying on you boys. That would taste of luxury for you there. Salute, Tommy. Right, who wants to see Barry die again? Alright, alright. Yeah, settle down, settle down. You get this one if the showdown with the Tyrant went down any other way besides Barry entering the lab with you.
Hi, Jill. It's you.
Barry?
I'm really embarrassed to see you now. Just leave me. Go quickly.
It's over, Barry. Wesker's dead.
Is that so? Jill, will you do me a favor? This is my last wish. Please give this photo to my family. Will you?
Sure.
Forgive me, Jill.
This is pretty much the same as the scene in the tunnels with one important difference.
My God!
There it is. Oh my God! Unfortunately, if you were nice to Barry, you get no reward for your patience except Chris yelling his new catchphrase at you.
Let's go!
Straight up the ladder, you'll find all the gang together again. Wow, we could do anything with this team of winners. Except fight the Tyrant. Jill does that by herself. Oh shit, I gave the final boss away. Forget I said that. I didn't say Tyrant, I said migrant. You have to fight an exhausted refugee looking for a better life for his family.
This is Brad. Running out of fuel. If there is anyone alive, contact me now, okay? This is...
Look at the team pose in the back. Straight out of Arklay, crazy motherfucker named Burton. Sometimes I think about Jill without her shirt on. Here's the world's most pointless goddamn puzzle. Look at this. Pick up the battery. Oh, where could this go? In the wall 5 feet away? The fuck do you think I am, Sherlock Holmes? How does anybody guess that out of anything except blind fucking luck? God! 3-minute warning time.
Oh no, you must be kidding! After we've come all the way here!
Ladies first. Go first, Jill.
But Chris!
Give me a chance to play nice guy.
Okay, I leave it up to you. See you again at the heliport.
Same sort of thing happens if you didn't bother to spring Chris out of Umbrella Prison.
Damn it. We have only one more step to go. Okay, I'll go. Jill, you try to contact Brad.
Okay.
Oh, it's okay everybody, don't panic. Barry's gonna kill the Tyrant by himself. I'd say there was absolutely no way that he could neglect to hit an 8.5 foot, 600 pound target in a corridor so narrow that it's bound to immobilize it, but hey, if you want to give your loved ones a gift that just keeps on giving this Christmas, why not try Barry's endless fucking incompetence? Now, you can easily run down the clock on this helipad trying to figure out what to do, fucking around with a radio and God knows what, but you need to grab the flare in the crate where you came in, take it to the center of the pad, let it loose, and just hope that Brad doesn't mistake it for some sort of napalm attack seagull, shit his pants and fly away forever. No, it's good! Brad came back! Good on you, pal. I mean, he's still a good few 100 feet up in the air away from anything that can hurt him, but that's brave for a noted coward, I guess. But oh look, what a goddamn surprise. Barry fucked everything up again. You're gonna have to deal with this shit yourself, and I do urge caution because the Tyrant isn't quite the sluggish bullet sponge that you fought back in the lab. If you put too much distance between you and him, he will punish you with a brutal charging attack that might not be so difficult to get clear of were you not blinded to his position by the fixed camera angles. No less than 6 of the fucking things that swap between panning shots and close-ups without warnings, so the best thing you can do here is keep him on as short a leash as you can manage.
Kill that monster! You're our Amazon, Jill!
After you've done enough damage, Brad will remember that he's got a fucking rocket launcher on board and generously let you borrow it. Resist the urge to blow him and his stupid helicopter to pieces and turn it on the Tyrant instead. That sort of range is good. Right in its bastard bollocks. That'll do, Valentine. That'll do. That's all she wrote, folks. Time for an ending rush now, but do take note of the state of the Tyrant's smouldering corpse there. That'll be important shortly. So, we'll start with the worst possible ending and work our way up to happier things. All of your endings start with this CGI swishiness of Brad finally growing the balls necessary to land, likely after you spent 10 minutes knocking the Tyrant's smoking skull against the ground and waving at him. Look, it's dead, Brad. It's fucking dead. Please land the goddamn helicopter, I'm begging you. Just like in every ending, you get this aerial shot of the mansion, but for some reason, in the two worst endings, it doesn't explode to cover everything up. And why should it? Who's gonna believe you, you big rubbish idiot? Jill's on her own. Barry's dead. Chris is... Well, the mansion didn't explode, so I guess he slowly dies in prison, driven mad by the blaring of the self-destruct siren that never turns off because the mansion can't explode. But Jill, she's just glad to take that beret off. Woo! Pamper day when we get home, eh, love? Straight in the bath. Box set binge. All the trimmings. The two worst endings also have this odd postfix where you see that the Tyrant you literally just blew to smithereens with rockets is not actually blown to smithereens with rockets. Oh, well, my mistake. Must have fucking dreamt that, mustn't I? The bad ending for you here now. You saved Chris, not Barry, and what? Fucking hell, love, steady. Look, change the music and it's practically a bloody date. Aside from Chris giving the camera a stare like he's gonna snap her neck while he's fucking her and melt her in the goddamn bathtub. Right, let's brighten things up for a minute here, shall we? Good ending time. You saved Barry, not Chris, and see here. Now the mansion explodes, or dreams of exploding. They've edited that effect in there somewhat ambiguously. And this is the only one of Jill's ending with any dialogue in it, so do enjoy.
Your wife?
Yeah, my wife and kids, they always wait up for me. Even today, eldest daughter. I'm sorry.
Don't worry about that. I know he must still be alive.
In the porno, this is when the clothes come off. My god, that delivery. That fucking delivery. You thought the in-game voice acting was bad. How many takes did they do for this to be the best one? Did the camera have to be back at the rental place by noon or something? Jesus. Here's the best ending then, reusing footage from the bad ending. Boo. Everyone's alive, although Barry looks like he's trying to remember how not to be. If I can't have Joel, nobody will. Barry, you can't say that and kill yourself. You fucking clown. Oh, goddammit, do whatever you want. I've had enough for today. So, there you go, kids. Jill's campaign is done. It's dusted. We ain't never coming back. Except in the bonus video I'm knocking together after I get through this with Chris. I'll show you all the extra bits and bobs from all the different ports and what have you. I do love this credit sequence. You might have noticed back when we got the bad endings, you only got a traditional credits reel over a black background, but here, whoa, it's fucking Action Jackson. This is a 360-degree camera bullshit from the Matrix years before that even happened. The snake's gonna bite you, Jill. Get behind the crate, you itchy scout mad woman. Get away from the plant, Jill. I'm gonna burn this plant down. No, Barry, not while it's holding me, you fucking goon. Wesker in happier times. Did you want more close-ups of Wesker's ass in that cutscene? Well, here you go. You're very welcome. Some of these are pointless. I thought I was going to get a nice pan out of the boulder chasing Jill here, but it just zooms in on her squatting. That's some voyeur editing there, you see. Let's go in Barry's private drawer. Here's the classic scene where the hunter in the tunnels totally ignores you, even though you're closer to it, and just runs straight at Barry because nature has pre-programmed all living things to terminate him on sight in an effort to correct the mistakes she made by allowing his mother a functioning womb. There's Wesker being a dick. Barry's back. Could have done that at any point in the game, Barry. Any point at all. What gets me is that Wesker's the only one holding his family hostage, so it's not like if he fails to report in at regular intervals, somebody else murders Barry's wife and kids, but even then, he just knocks Wesker out and leaves him there. Do you not think he might wake up at some point and kill your fucking family in retaliation, Barry? No, of course not. What in the name of Christ am I saying? Barry, think. It's like the whole situation where if you put 1,000 monkeys on 1,000 typewriters, eventually they crank out Shakespeare. If you put 1,000 Barrys on 1,000 typewriters, one day they might figure out that they're not toasters. Well, that's it, lovelies. There's your results screen, and that's where I'm leaving you for this week. Next time on Retro Rumble 2, we'll be finishing off our Silent Hill playthrough before we pick up again with Resident Evil, heading steaming into the much tougher campaign of Mr. Chris Redfield. Again, don't freak out, I haven't stuck around to show you the unlockables yet. There will be an entire separate video dedicated to all that and more, just as soon as Chris's ordeal is under our boots. See you next time!